Thank you, Vincent. I will present together with Kleopas the opportunities we can have from these two entities. The first one is the European Neuromuscular Center, and you see this is a unique, it stands for ENMC, stands for European Neuromuscular Center, a unique organization placed in the Netherlands, not far from here. Existing for more than 30 years and bringing together neuromuscular clinicians and European patient organizations. The mission is to encourage and facilitate communication and collaboration in neuromuscular disorders and research. The aim is to improve diagnosis, prognosis, to find effective treatments, optimize standard of care, and increase quality of life of patients and families affected by neuromuscular condition. It's very useful because it organizes 8 to 10 workshops per year, where a selected group of 20 to 25 researchers, clinicians, patients, industry representatives are brought together for a weekend, stacked in the hotel, in the room, to exchange state-of-the-art knowledge, experiences, and to find discussion and find solutions for a specific goal, a specific disease. Then there is a lay report and a paper published on neuromuscular disorders. And there is also a next generation program I will show you in a minute. So I strongly invite the CMT community to consider to submit workshops application because they are very, very useful. And the way it works is very, very useful as well. All experts can submit the workshop application. There are 2 rounds every year, one deadline 1st of March, the other one 1st of September. There is a research committee. Vincent was there before. Now I'm in this research committee. This research committee reviews the submitted workshop and evaluate and submit a judgment that is submitted to the executive committee that decides based on the scientific merit and so on. And you can find in the site guidelines and template. And also there is an early career program. Every workshop has 2 to 3 early career representatives that are involved in the organization and carrying out the workshops. And this is also important for them. And also on the right side, you see a mid-career mentoring program. This is for researchers in the mid-career, and there are mentors and that give them the skillness and abilities to prepare the pathway for to become independent researchers and potential future leaders. And this is a program for 3 years. You can apply. You are linked to 2 to 3 mentors. And this application has one deadline every year, the 1st of July. Vincent, through the consortium in the past, made several workshops and also together with some in this room, like Mary Riley, Mike Shine, others. We have several others in the last year, but the last one was 9 years ago. So please consider to apply. These are the last 4, and many of us are there. And this is the nice photo taken 20 years ago. You recognize Richard Hughes, Alessandra Solari, Mary, myself a little bit younger with some more hair, Violaine and Pete, young Pete, and others. It was very, very useful to prepare the trial for CNT1A at the time with ascorbic acid. So please consider to submit workshop applications, and we are very happy. We will be happy and eager to evaluate this in the committee. The ERN has already been mentioned for neuromuscular disorders. You know that it is a network for rare diseases, among other 23. And the idea is to bring together the centers of excellence in Europe to favor the exchange of diagnosis, breaking the frontiers, the barriers, and make the information of the patient travel through countries. But also it's very important for research. So this is another opportunity for this, because you see that this meeting was announced by the website of the EURO-NMD ERN, and this is the organization. Just to say that there are 5 diseases, group of diseases taken care in the ERN: muscle disorders, peripheral neuropathies, and Kleopas and myself are the chairs of this group, after Mary was the first one, great chair at the time, but UK exit, so we needed to find somebody else. And also there are a group, genetics, neuropathology, and so on. This is the working group of the peripheral neuropathies with the 2 chairs, but many others in this room are part of this, on the CNT, but not only on CMT. And Arabella is representing the CNT community, and also Daniel Tanes was already remembered, and we are missing him very much. So these are educational activities, ERN registry, inter-ERN activities, guidelines preparation. This can be useful also for the report of the project. There is a platform to discuss difficult clinical cases, and there is a working group, task force for translation for neuropathies. There is a lot of work done by the PEGs, including the patient journey. We will have a very brief overview of this. We had a cycle of webinars on CMT 2 years ago in October. October is the month of the CMT awareness, with some brilliant webinars given by Kleopas and others. And we had a cycle on dysimmune neuropathies last year, and Kleopas will mention also the inter-ERN group of gene therapy cycle. And this is the list of the inflammatory neuropathies webinars given by important people in the field, very well attended. And the important thing is that the webinars are on the website. You can have access to them. Going to the website, webinars, there is a YouTube channel where you can navigate and find all the webinars given in this field. So you are able to follow them. Going back, okay, we had some summer schools and 2, one last year, one just given in Marseille on multidisciplinary management of neuromuscular disease, including neuropathy. We are starting with the ERN registry. This is particularly important because this can be an interaction with the CMT community, the ECRA and the CMTR and other organizations, the INC and so on, because the idea we have as a group, a working group, is to use it for collecting ultra-rare cases, particularly those that may be amenable to clinical trials in the near futures, like recessive forms for gene therapy or whatever, the demyelinating particularly, but not only, other rare types like CMTD, CMT2C and so on, that where therapies are being studied, giant axonal neuropathy and so on. So this is one important task we want to pursue. And the registry is, there is a list of items to be filled through RedCap. Some are common to all ERNs, some other specific for our ERN, transversal to all diseases, neuromuscular diseases, some specific to the neuropathy. And now is the Kleopas time.
Thank you, Davide. So, yeah, I think the ERN registry is a great platform that can also be used by the European CMT Research Association and facilitate our joint goal to collect rare CMT cases throughout Europe. Is the only way to do it, through the ERN and collaboration of all specialists. The other initiative we have is the working group on gene therapies. This is actually a joint working group between 3 different ERNs. This is the rare neuromuscular, the rare neurological, and the epilepsy care ERN. So there are specialists from all these ERNs. The goal is to promote collaboration and facilitate research and education, and also survey the practices for gene therapy across Europe. So one of the 2 initiatives we had last year was a series of webinars, and also a survey on gene therapy practices around Europe. So there were 12 webinars organized last year on basic technologies, but also specific applications in various disease areas like leukodystrophies, muscular dystrophies, the challenges to translate therapies, and also regulatory aspects of gene therapy pathway to the clinic. So this was very useful, and again is an example of how we can take advantage of the ERN platforms also for webinars to support also CMT research and projects. The other important initiative from the group was a survey on the current practices of gene therapies in Europe. This was done in the last 2 years, so this included many reference network centers across Europe from different ERNs. You see here not only the EURO-NMD, but also rare neurological and EpiCare and MedUp ERN and ERNI. So for the EURO-NMD, that also includes peripheral neuropathies, we had 61 neuromuscular disorder centers participating, had a broad coverage across Europe, and we had very interesting results from 23 countries. These results are now being evaluated by an expert panel for a position paper to draw conclusions and provide recommendations for harmonizing gene therapy practices. So this focuses on approved therapies, but also included clinical trials, reimbursement aspects in different countries, and it's a very interesting piece of work. And again, this shows you that there is a platform to also collect information of what's going on around Europe, also for CMT therapies in the future. So I'll give back to Davide.
Thank you, Kleopas. We must thank Kleopas for the incredible amount of work, active work, producing results in his chairmanship of this group. Thank you very much, Kleopas. This is very important. We are almost at the end. The CPMS's platform, not very used thus far, but theoretically it can be very useful, and I invite you to use it because it can be used for discussing difficult cases. You can invite specialists in the field and upload all the documentation of the patient, and there can be the discussion asynchronous or through Zoom call and so on. This is the platform. There are instructions how to use it on the website, and this is mainly for the centers belonging to the ERN, but it's open also to others that want to submit cases, particular cases. And there are training videos and so on. There's a task force working on transition across the ERN, including neuropathy, and Isabella Moroni is representing the children and also CMT in this group, and they are conducting a survey about the transition in the healthcare providers in this moment. The patient role is very important also. There are different organizations belonging to the ERN, including the CMT organization, European one, and others, and they are working very hard, and they developed this initiative that is the patient journey, that is the description of the disease pathway with the eye of the patient. That's also important, including medical aspects, social, psychological features, and so on. And also the perspective and experience of the patient living with the disease. And this is made in collaboration with the clinicians. There is one on multifocal motor neuropathy that is being translated in different languages because this is important also for patients, but also for us. On the website there are others, myasthenia gravis, myofibrillary myopathies, ongoing on myositis, ALS, mitochondrial myopathies. And there will be a meeting of the ERN next year in Paris. And I think that Kleopas and myself want, it's our goal that there is a very close interaction between the ERN and ECRA and the entire CMT community, CMTR, INC, across Europe and also with the States and so on. So this is really must be international. And this was my last slide, and thank you, Kleopas. Thank you all for the attention.
We have some. Thank you very much. We have some time for questions. So there are microphones.
And just to say that we welcome initiatives for a CMT patient journey. Okay. Yeah.
No questions?
During the dinner.
In the back.
Yeah, we hear you.
I'm not sure.
Thank you both for this wonderful introduction. Could you maybe comment a little bit on the policies that stand behind questions such as data access, ability to contribute what kind of data, and how the community can then access the consolidated information behind, for example, maybe the EURO-ERN network? Can you comment on that a little bit?
Information, the access to the ERN registry information.
The registry, you mean the registry?
Sure.
Or in general? Registry, okay. The registry, there are also the Freiburg Center is committed to manage the registry, and if you are part of the registry, you can, you have a pathway of submitting to the ethics committee, have the authorization, the red cap access, and then the informed consent to the patient to be recruited, and then you can enter information. The information belongs to the European communities in a sense, but it's also property of the patients and the researchers as well, so you can have access to the information. There is a steering committee regulating all the process and also the query to the registry for scientific reports, for use and so on. So it's true registry regulated according to all the GDPR regulations, and it's a resource that we should use. Okay.